Flash Live. It's time for the Splash Live from Civic Center TV, featuring stories from and about people like you in the greater West Bloomfield area. Simulcast on cable, 89.3 Lakes FM, social media, and the web. Now live from Green Media Center on Walnut Lake Road, it's the Splash Live.
Live, local, social, it's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm Tyler Keefe, welcoming you, our first show of the month of July, and as always, welcoming in my co-host, Kevin McIntosh. Kevin, happy July.
Happy to be here, Tyler. Another day, another opportunity to do great things, inform the community, and have some fun this summer. Tyler, what's going on?
Yeah, it is going to be a beautiful week here in greater West Bloomfield. A short week for many as they get ready for the big 4th of July holiday. But across the greater West Bloomfield area, some big changes also on the way, Kevin. Priority Waste taking over waste hauling contracts across the greater West Bloomfield area, including one of the biggest in our local county in West Bloomfield Township. As of today, the 1st of July, 2024, it is all about Priority Waste. Now, as that change is made from GFL Environmental to Priority Waste, residents should keep in mind that a lot is going to stay the same. In fact, your service day will remain the same. So let's say Wednesday is your trash pickup day. That will continue to be your trash pickup day, or Monday morning, or whatever day of the week it is. That's going to stay the same schedule. So get your trash and your recycling out at the same time, put it in the same spot, and be ready to go. There should be no change in that regard. In terms of any other services changing, Priority Waste has let the people know in an infographic that no changes in services whatsoever should be expected at this time, and your current carts will continue to be serviced. So you don't have to have a Priority Waste logo or any of their livery on your current trash or recycling receptacles. The ones you are currently using are going to remain okay at this time. Now, last week, the West Bloomfield Township Board invited Priority Waste COO Vincent Hoyumpa to their regular meeting as they were finalizing their switchover of their contract from GFL to Priority Waste as the switchover was officially made. And at that meeting, many complaints were risen about some of the services from GFL during the lasting weeks. And while Priority's taking over those services and a lot of those vehicles and employees are now under the umbrella of Priority Waste, many, including a township board member, wondered what would be addressed in terms of trucks dropping garbage or missing service in these communities, and Hoyumpa from Priority Waste addressed those at that meeting.
We had purchased 100 new trucks. So those trucks that were, and those were all prior GFL communities, so those communities, they no longer have those trucks. So we're going to be repurposing the best trucks across the board and taking out of service the trucks that need the most repairs, if you will. So I have, as part of this acquisition, acquired 200 extra trucks that we're going to have. Now, it's not necessarily going to happen in day one, okay? But I would expect over the next 90 days to be able to go through all the trucks in all the communities and reallocate the resources so that we're minimizing any environmental impact in any community, including your own.
Hoyampa also assured the community that communication will continue to be a critical part of their operation, communicating not only with West Bloomfield Township, but all of its municipal partners as it takes over those contracts from GFL Environmental. Not only will they keep that communication in line, they will use both modern and some classical tactics in order to ensure that it is a smooth transition and they give quality service.
Part of our success and part of the reason why communities are so happy with our service is the fact that we've pioneered what we call the PIT. That's Priority Integrative Technologies, where we use technology to see at all times where our drivers are, what our guys are doing, all right? As their co-pilot, all right, we have what we call our LDCs, our Logistic Driver Coordinators. These are individuals whose job is and as members of your team have seen, their job is to help those drivers and deal with problems as they come up, all right? We have people that can diagnose mechanical problems virtually so that when there is that breakdown, we can send a service truck with the correct parts, all right, with the correct personnel to mitigate that issue, not 6 hours, not 12 hours after the fact, but within an hour, all right? We have a very extensive system where our call times, where people are used to getting a machine and says dial 1 for this, press 2 for this, all right? You go talk to a live person and you are immediately connected to an individual who has the ability and the knowledge to resolve the problem. So our hold times are less than 15 seconds. All right. Our resolution times are under 2 minutes. We like to be 1950s in the front where you have that personal interaction, 2050 on the back, because we use technology as the backbone for providing the services that every resident is entitled to.
That technology going to play a big role in this too. And Calvin at Master Control, we have that FAQ from Priority Waste. If we can get that up on the screen here in just a moment. There is a live chat option with Priority Waste. So of course you can call their phone number 586-228-1200, or you can visit them prioritywaste.com, which includes that live chat for even more information. Kevin, it's a big transition for people. Their waste hauling services, it's a critical part of their week. Trash day is something you mark on your calendars, and so now people are going to have all the info they need about this big change across our communities.
It's good that Priority Waste COO Vincent Hoyampa did everything that he could to pretty much reassured that the transition would be as smooth as possible. Even what I like the most, and I meant to point this out, he says that we'll be speaking to live representatives. Oh, having to talk to an automated AI voice to try to get to a live representative is very irking. So yes, that is very valuable, and I would appreciate that throughout this transition.
Yeah, a little AI voice would have said, oh, irking? You want me to talk like Steve Urkel? Okay, I got that for you. That's what I'll do. Luckily, we get to talk to some real people about these real issues. Hopefully, sunnier days ahead with trash and recycling services than have been had in recent weeks for West Bloomfield and members of the Tri-Cities in the final days of that GFL contract. Kevin, it's a holiday week here in Greater West Bloomfield and across our nation, which means many will be out and about for activities and family time. That includes our veterans.
Yes, our veterans will be doing a lot of traveling, as well as everybody else here in Oakland County. And specifically here in Oakland County, our veterans have access to free, reliable transportation all summer long. Oakland County Executive Dave Coulter recently joined us on the Splash Live to explain why this effort was a priority pilot program for Oakland County.
We know that transportation is an equity issue, frankly. It's one thing to have the resources to go to the doctor or to the store, but if you don't have the transportation, then that's a barrier. And veterans face lots of different challenges and barriers. And I will say this as well. I've learned this in my time working with veterans. They're the last people to ask for help. They're often very reluctant. They are willing to serve their country and their communities, but they're often reluctant to ask for help when they need it. So, like I said, we're always looking for ways to say, look, can we make life a little bit easier for you?
That was a great point, also brought up by Oakland County Executive Dave Coulter. And this just wasn't a random effort, by the way. It was actually sparked from an effort to provide more robust transportation and services to those who served us.
It came about because we got a grant from the Michigan Veterans Affairs Department. And so we decided, we were looking at ways on how we could spend this. And one of the things that we've been thinking is, could we expand transportation services to our veterans, make it a little bit easier for them to get to their appointments, their doctor's office, the grocery store, wherever they want to go. So we're kind of piloting this summer to see if this is something that veterans and their families would really take advantage of. So all summer long, from June 1st until the end of August, our veterans, their dependents, and their caregivers can ride free on any transportation services in Oakland.
And specifically, there are a few things that veterans must do in order to prepare for these rides, this free transportation. One, you must prepare by making plans for this service at least 72 hours in advance, scheduling for this transportation. And as well as Oakland County Executive Dave Coulter letting us all know that there are some extra steps necessary to show your veteran status and get on the road.
First of all, most veterans carry around a veteran ID card. 80, 90%, I'm told, have the card. That card will get you on the bus. But if you don't have that card, you can call the number on that flyer that you've been showing. You can go to our website. You can register for this program, and then we can send you paperwork. And then I just have to tell you, at the end of the day, maybe I shouldn't say this publicly, but I'm going to. We're not going to turn you away. If you tell us you're a veteran and you don't have the paperwork with you, we're going to trust you, because we trusted you to keep us safe, and we're going to.
Yes, and free veteran transportation throughout the summer is just a small fraction of the services provided across our local area for public transportation. And Coulter encourages all to take a peek behind the curtain and experience it for themselves.
While it's important for our veterans to take advantage of these transportation services, my ultimate goal is to make sure that everyone in Oakland County has equal, affordable access to good transit services. So if you haven't taken the bus in a while, if you haven't called up one of your local providers to get a ride somewhere, I encourage you to try it. It's not what you think. We've come a long way, and I encourage everyone to take advantage of the great transit services that we offer across the county.
I would encourage that also, too. And to learn more about this free program for veterans, visit oakgov.com/veterans, or of course you can visit them on social media, Facebook specifically at oakgov.vs. Great service for us to spread and talk about for the community and for our veterans specifically, Tyler.
Yeah, at this time of the year when veterans are going to be out and about, there's so many activities throughout our community across the summer, this week being especially important as they're traveling throughout the community, visiting friends, visiting family, and celebrating our independence with all of these activities. No better time to tap into these free services through Oakland County. Kevin, close to home, some unfortunate news from the West Bloomfield Police Department as they said a final farewell to a decorated canine officer, Officer Jasper, having served West Bloomfield for 7 years on their canine unit. Retired about 5 years ago, unfortunately, has passed away, the police department reports. They said, quote, Jasper is noted for their exemplary service with locating suspects, finding missing subjects, narcotics detection, and their fearless protection for the law enforcement community. You're seeing some pictures on your screen on civiccentertv.com of canine officer Jasper, and the police department noted in their memorial post for Jasper, quote, thank you for your service, and we will continue your watch. Kevin, people can learn more about Canine Jasper, provide their condolences to the police department as well on their Facebook page at West Bloomfield PD. Not only do our human officers and our other officials from the department on the human side play such a key role, our canine officers also a critical part of our operation, not just in West Bloomfield, but as they provide partnership to other communities as well.
100%. And, you know, the special abilities that the K9 officers have that help enhance the what the officers do in our community. It's it goes without saying how grateful that we are for it, and we don't want to take that for granted. So the life and legacy of Officer Jasper, we want to celebrate. We want to put in high regard, and rest in peace to Officer Jasper also.
Yeah, many dedicated years of service from Officer Jasper, and our thoughts are with Officer Geary, the K-9 handler at the West Bloomfield Police Department, and their entire team over there in the K-9 unit and beyond that worked with Jasper over the many years of their service.
Good
Kevin,
point.
on the historical front, some big changes in the West Bloomfield School District, taking some classic photos and putting them into some modern means.
Yeah, West Bloomfield School District. I see they are actually taking some class photos from physical and making them digital. Actually, thank you to Debbie Wolf for helping the West Bloomfield School District digitize all the Roosevelt class photos going all the way back from 1929 to 1954. By the way, Tyler, she did all of this on her vacation, which is really deserves the appreciation for that. And Christy Foreign and the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society, they all kept them safe throughout the process, and they all have been photographed, and now they are working on retouching the images. The final product, they say, will be done and available by the fall of 2024. If you're watching on Civic Center TV, you can see the photos. Debbie is shown there with her father's graduating class in one of the photos. Also a very, very interesting way for us to preserve the history, the local history right here in West Bloomfield, Tyler.
Yeah, doing that all of that on her vacation sounds to me like Debbie needs a vacation. Hopefully taking that this week
right?
After a hard few days of work, digitizing all those many years of memories from the West Bloomfield School District. Kevin, speaking about making memories, a beautiful family moment at a beautiful family restaurant recently. Last week, the meatballs at Gino's Pizzeria and Restaurant in Keego Harbor were made with a little bit of extra love, as Gino had a special sous chef with him in the kitchen, his granddaughter. Together, they had a very busy day, a lot of work going on back in the kitchen at Gino's. 400 meatballs on the order, Kevin, and they made them all together as a family. Said Gino on his Facebook page, quote, "Doesn't get any better." You can follow and learn even more, keep up to date with the team at Gino's on Facebook at 1999 Cass LK RD. That's also their address if you're looking for a nice family meal this 4th of July week. Shout out to Gino and his family. A beautiful moment over there in the heart of the lakes, Kevin. As we celebrate this 4th of July week, many families going to be spending a lot of time together, going outside for activities. We're expecting a beautiful week. That means many are going to go to places like Lily Pad Springs for some outdoor time, but hopefully with safety still very much in mind given recent events.
Yes, and that's great that you brought that up, because we want to talk about safety and security outside. In the wake of the recent shootings at the Splash Pad in Rochester Hills, actually joining us right here on the Splash Live, we have Executive Director for West Bloomfield Parks, Kelly Heyer. And if you don't mind, how has your team implemented any new safety precautions at Lily Pad Springs?
We've reached out to staff immediately when the situation was unfolding in Rochester Hills. And we met with all of the staff a couple times, Sunday, Monday, and did some check-ins with the staff. In addition to that, we revisited our emergency action protocols. And what that means is we do some role playing, because when you talk about and debrief from incidents, typically the experts will say your minds in an emergency situation goes to memory recall. And so it's very helpful when you do role play that as a human, your brain has something in your memory to pull from and respond with. So for our emergency action protocols with Lily Pad Spring staff, that could be missing kids, it could be lost parents, it could be where a customer situation is escalating and we need to calm somebody down. So really, it's the whole gamut. In addition to that, we do a lot of training for situational awareness. And that's something that all of us in society could use from.
Good
And
point.
that strategy is making sure that when you park your car, you're getting out and surveying the scene, to when you're at work, that you're not on your phone. You are paying attention and seeing the different customers and monitoring if anybody is upset or maybe opposite feeling, that a parent is looking scared or they have an expression on their face that maybe they got separated from their child.
Good point. Good point. All different perspectives that we need to keep in mind so that we are alert, and staying away from the distractions is probably the biggest one. And I completely understand that. Now, how is WB Parks educating the community about safety measures and emergency procedures when visiting the splash pad?
Well, we have a great communication with West Bloomfield Police Department. So after the situation was unfolding in Rochester Hills, Chief Patton immediately directed staff to be more visible and more patrols in community spaces. And that did include lily pad springs. As to your question, it depends on the situation. I would say the more typical situation is weather. So being in an outdoor facility, we have to constantly be alerted to or pay attention to radar for these incoming storms. And as you know, that West Bloomfield, we can get some severe winds and storms, and sometimes it just comes on us very suddenly. So when you talk about safety, actually the weather comes to mind. And so we have next to our public microphone, we have several different pre-typed out messages so the staff can read right from the script, Kevin, and so that it's clear, concise, and good directions to the public in the event of emergency. In addition to our EIPs, the other thing that we have at LilyPad is two things. We have a 911 emergency call phone that is very close to the ticket booth and very accessible to public and staff. And we also have an emergency water shutoff button that could come in handy in the events that we need to quiet things down and to have people go to their cars. Interesting.
Overall, it seems like you have everything in place to make sure that we are covered, including the partnership and collaboration with the West Bloomfield Police Department. Join us right here on the Splash Live, Executive Director for the West Bloomfield Parks, Kelly Heyer, talking about safety at Lily Pad Springs, especially after the incident at Rochester Hills Pad. Lily Pad, or I should say, Splash Pad. We're just talking about different things on how we can be proactive right here in our community. Have you received any feedback from the community in regards to safety, or maybe even their reactions to what happened there and their safety here? Have you heard anything back from the community?
That is a great question, Kevin. And surprisingly, I wasn't sure how the community would react.
Right.
We had one customer reach out and wanted to discuss more, and a second customer did ask for a refund. But other than those two incidents, I personally did not hear anything. And we were very proactive in opening up the conversation with staff, and truly, surprisingly, very little feedback. However, I will say that Sunday, Father's Day, there was lower attendance than normal, I would say, on a holiday Sunday.
Okay.
But then Monday, Tuesday, perhaps with the hot weather, we saw our numbers go back up to what I would consider normal.
Okay. Well, overall, like we continue to say, it seems like we have everything that we need in place. We are in partnership with the local police department. The West Bloomfield Parks team knows the protocol. They are going over the protocol for emergencies. Also, any support systems that you do have, I know we briefly talked about talking to the staff who may have felt a certain type of way or been affected by it. What type of support systems do we have for the staff who may have been affected by it or may still be going through it?
Sure. As you saw, Oakland County put out several links to mental health support. And we have our HR manager that's always available, and she has a great relationship with staff to reach out to. But I would say the one thing that we also have available is our men's support group that is starting in July. This is a grant-funded position, a program. And I think this has come up in several conversations that I've seen from debriefing from the incident at Rochester Hills, is not being afraid to ask for help. And or if you see something, say something.
Absolutely.
So this is a public reminder for everyone, and you can't say it enough, is that we have a mental health crisis happening across the nation. And there's so many different groups and therapists and supports out there that we have to get to a position for people to feel comfortable and not embarrassed or not afraid or don't know what to do, to reach out and get some help. And so that goes for anybody that's feeling these feelings, or perhaps that you live with somebody that you're seeing this happen, that there are, and I'm not an expert, but I know that between Henry Ford, West Bloomfield, and Oakland County, we have two great resources right here in our backyards.
And this is what we love to essentially provide for our community in case of these type of situations. We hate for the situations to happen, but to know that these resources are here, are available, are local is a great thing. Kelly, before we let you go, any last messages, words that you want to let the community know about in regards to Lily Pad Springs or any other West Bloomfield parks before we depart today?
We're here for you, and staff, again, continues to revisit our emergency action protocols. But truly, if you see something, say something. We rely on the public as well as staff to make West Bloomfield a safe community.
Yes, and we will continue to make West Bloomfield a safe community as we all do our part to do such a thing. Thank you again for your time. Kelly Heyer, Executive Director for West Bloomfield Parks, joining us on the Splash Live. We appreciate your time and information.
Thank you.
Very reassuring to hear that from our Executive Director of West Bloomfield Parks. Just talking about safety, security, just make sure that they have protocols in place so that we can be proactive to certain things. So great information, and thank you again for joining us, Kelly Heyer from West Bloomfield Parks. Great information to share with the community also, Tyler.
Yeah, important to keep in consideration, considering the unfortunate events that happened recently in our local area at another splash pad. That's often the time where you spring into action and think about how can we better protect ourselves close to home, and that's exactly what's happening with our friends at West Bloomfield Parks as they get ready for a very busy time of the year, especially a holiday week like this. Safety always going to be paramount when it comes to our kids, Kevin, and that also applies to our pets as well. As we think about this time of the year, the heat's only going to get hotter as time goes on. As we approach the dog days of summer, we want to think about our pet safety also. How do we keep them safe, keep them active, and allow them to also have a great summer outdoors? There's plenty of tips out there, but no better place to turn than to your local hometown pet store. So joining us now on the Splash Live is Jeff Nagara, one of the co-owners of Premier Pet Supply, with stores all across Oakland County, including right here close to home in West Bloomfield. Jeff, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, happy to have you on as we recently have been through a heat wave, some unseasonably warm temperatures, felt more like August than June when it happened. But as we get closer and closer to those later days of the summer where we have high humidity and high heat and the sun is beaming, what should we keep in consideration for our four-legged friends as we go outside and have a great summer with them?
Well, we definitely want to be mindful of how hot it is. Once it starts getting, more than 80 degrees, you want to be very quick with the walks you're taking. You want to make sure they stay very well hydrated. You don't want to keep them out too long. And those are just some of the basics that we recommend. Kind of the same thing as yourself. Once you start getting a little faint or start feeling a little warm, it might almost be too late. So you want to just make sure you're staying hydrated and staying cool.
And so what are some ways that people can go about that? Obviously, taking lots of water breaks would be one of them, but what are maybe some other steps that people may not think about as they're about our community?
So some of the things you might not think about, we offer cooling vests and cooling collars, which are really nice. It's something that you can put on just like you would a regular harness or collar. They come with ice packs, so you throw those in the freezer, get them nice and cold, throw them on your dog, and that way they can stay cool through those walks. If you want to leave them in the backyard or they go outside to use the restroom, something you can throw on so that they can stay cool and hydrated, and you don't have to worry about them overheating. Dogs, unfortunately, don't sweat like we do. They don't have those regular sweat glands. So a lot of times they're panting a whole lot or they're sweating through their paws. So again, if you're on a long walk and the sidewalk is hot to the touch, if you were to put your hand down, imagine if you're walking barefoot on the asphalt. It could be 80 degrees outside, but if that sun's out, it could be over 120 degrees, and that would burn very quickly. So you want to be mindful of those things.
Jeff Nagara is with us from Premier Pet Supply with locations across our local area, including in the Orchard Mall on Orchard Lake Road in West Bloomfield Township, as we think about our pets and the great outdoors throughout this greater West Bloomfield summer. Jeff, another concern we have this time of the year is with the heat in our cars. Look, it takes forever for the air conditioning to make it temperate for us. How does that affect our pets?
It's one of those things where once it gets warm in the car, again, I like to say the 80-degree rule. If it's 80 degrees outside, it's going to be 120 in the car with the windows up. So do not leave your pets in the car. Please, please, please. If you're going anywhere, leave them home or take them with you. We're fortunate to have an opportunity for you to bring your pet with you into the store, and it can be a really fun experience. Just the same way as you take your child to a toy store, bring your pet in, let them shop around. It'll give them a break from being in the heat. Our stores are cool with air conditioning, so it's really nice. But definitely have the windows down. Definitely start your car ahead of time before you put your animal in. They'll overheat quicker than we will. So we want to make sure that we're being mindful of those things. It's very, very important.
How can our local pet store be helpful in us making these sound decisions and having the provisions in place to help our pets when they're experiencing some of these common ailments that even we do during the summer?
So make sure your animals are well hydrated. Make sure you're taking those walks earlier in the morning or later in the evening. When it's midday, do not go outside. Just like we don't want to be out midday doing work. It's very difficult. We do have some sunscreens that you can put on, because your pet's nose is one of those areas that does have very soft skin. And you want to make sure that you have the UV protection on there to help them out, just like we do with our face and our arms when we're out in the sun, because it can get sunburnt. So it's important that we take those protocols. We also have cooling toys that they can chew on, something that you can throw in the freezer. So it could be nice and ice cold. So as they're biting on it, they can hydrate that way and kind of just keep them cool in general. So those are some of the ailments and some of the things you want to watch out for.
More information on services and locations, times for Premier Pet Supply if you're looking to get some of these provisions for your pet yourself, including in the greater West Bloomfield location on Orchard Lake Road. PremierPetSupply.com or on Facebook at Premier Pet Supply. That is Premier, P-R-E-M-I-E-R, Pet Supply. Joining us is one of their co-owners, Jeff Nagara, on today's edition of the Splash Live. Lastly, we want to look for those symptoms that, hey, maybe our dog is in distress, or our outdoor cat or other pet may be in distress this time of the year. We know some of the symptoms are very visible in humans. What do they look like for dogs or for other animals?
You'll see heavy panting. You'll see kind of just a lack of energy. You'll see that, you'll be calling your pet to come to you and they're not responding the way that you would hope. Those are all signs that there could be dehydration or heat exhaustion. So you want to make sure you're taking, you want to be preventative before that happens.
And lastly, Jeff, as we talked about some of those products that are available, some of the advice that's available. Now, why is it better to go to a local pet store than it is to go to one of those maybe big chains throughout our local area to get some more of this advice or to engage with some of these products?
So with us being a local family-owned company, we've been doing it for more than 30 years. We have the experience and we have the knowledge. We have the staff that truly cares. And not to say those big stores don't, but it's one of the things that we really put forward and ahead. And we are always encouraging our staff to do more training, to learn more, so that when you come in, we're giving you the proper knowledge. We're giving you the proper attention and the focus that you need. Our big thing is when you come in, we're going to say hello. We're going to give you a few moments. We're going to come follow up. And I notice when you go to any big box store, it's more of just, even if you get a hi, nobody's coming to you to talk to you. And if they do, they're just pointing to a space in the store for you to go to. We actually will walk you to the aisle, answer all your questions, and make sure that when you leave, you have been fully taken care of, with any items or any products or any questions that you have. And if we don't have the answer, we're not gonna lie to you. We're gonna make sure that we look it up, and we'll reach back out to you to get you that proper information.
It's not many times you can take your dog with you to the mall and no one's going to bat an eye at you. No one's going to ask if they're a service dog. They're going to just say, hey, look, another friendly neighbor out here with their dog at the Orchard Mall. Jeff, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Thanks for having us on.
Appreciate having you on and appreciate the sage advice from one of our local pet stores, Jeff Nagara from Premier Pet Supply. You can find them at the Orchard Mall at the corner of Orchard Lake Road and Maple in West Bloomfield Township, or online on premierpetsupply.com. Live, local, social, we are the Splash Live. You can always find every one of our discussions and all of our great content from across our 4 communities, all across social media. Scan the QR code that's on your screen on civiccentertv.com as we speak. They'll give you all the information you need, where to subscribe to our YouTube channel for free, by the way. Thousands of videos over there from across the years for you to choose from. And you can also find us on social media, on Facebook and on Instagram. All of those links also available on civiccentertv.com. It is that time of the year. We're celebrating the 4th of July, which means you're going to get together with your friends, with your family, maybe have some fun with fireworks. But there's plenty to consider this time of the year as you do that. From safety to what's the most fun fireworks that are available in our local area. Here to join us to talk about that is the manager of Phantom Fireworks of West Bloomfield. Rachel Dykes is with us on the Splash Live. Rachel, thank you so much for being with us today.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you this, I would imagine, very busy time of the year?
It is picking up. It's getting busier. We're seeing more and more people in to get their fireworks for the week.
So, Rachel, let's get right into it with that then. People are coming into West Bloomfield. They're going to Phantom Fireworks. They want to have a good time on the 4th. What fireworks are they looking at more than ever at this time?
The most popular ones are our repeaters. They light once and they go up multiple times. They do give you a more enjoyable show. But other ones that are popular are mortars and fountains. They kind of, they kind of go all over the place and with popularity. So it all depends on what each person personally likes for what they want for their show.
And that's what's so important about going to your local shop, is you get a chance to talk about that with your local vendors. How can the people at Phantom Fireworks and your friendly team help people make the right choices as they make this last-minute prep for the 4th?
So we like to engage with our customers and ask them, hey, do you prefer stuff that goes up in the air? Do you prefer stuff that you have to load multiple times? Would you rather stuff stay low to the ground and not go as high? Because everybody does have their preferences, and we do have very wide product knowledge, and we can create you a show that has everything or just small stuff, big stuff. It all depends on you, and we are able to help you find what you are most comfortable with. And that is one of the biggest things, is lighting fireworks that you are comfortable with and not doing anything outside of your comfort zone.
And that is really important as we celebrate the 4th of July, as often people and families and friends will get together and celebrate with the fireworks, is to keep that in consideration. Safety has to be number one. And so as you're consulting with these customers about what's best for the fun they're looking to have, how do you bring safety into play when you're having those discussions?
So we bring up like how they want to light their fireworks. We always recommend punks, which are a slow burning incense type stick. They look like these, and you can use those to light your fireworks instead of trying to use like a small lighter. We have remote firing systems. We have fuse extensions. We just want to make sure that your area is like flat, level ground. You're not on any hills or uneven ground. And we want to make sure that you are in a area that has enough space vertically and horizontally to be clear.
Rachel Dykes is with us, the manager of Phantom Fireworks in West Bloomfield Township, joining us as we get ready for the big 4th of July holiday and, of course, the celebration. Rachel, we also think about the kids this time of the year, too, because often they are having their own fun on the 4th of July. They get involved with the sparklers and the other kind of smaller fireworks typically, but there seems to be some competing modes of thought on children and their interaction with fireworks. From a professional standpoint, someone that works with fireworks, that sells them, now, what sort of is Phantom Fireworks' take on how kids can get involved with fireworks during the 4th of July celebration and whether they should?
So we do recommend that children do not light fireworks, ignite them. We do recommend that it is adult only. We do have other items in our showroom, like we have our ball of fun that you can see kind of behind me, and we do have like a wide variety of light up items now that are more kid friendly, just so that they can still have fun and have stuff to do while enjoying the show put on for them.
More information about Phantom Fireworks in our local area can be found on fireworks.com. You'll look up their location in West Bloomfield on Haggerty Road, or you can call them 248-592-9610. Rachel Dykes is their manager and joins us on today's edition of the Splash Live. As we inch closer to the day of the big day on the 4th, and what sort of special activities are happening or special sales may be happening at Phantom Fireworks?
So my in-store promo is currently 25% off all of our fireworks. However, we do have multiple avenues to get coupons. If you look at our social media, if you sign up for our newsletter at fireworks.com, those will roll in some better coupons and deals as we move closer to the 4th.
Again, Phantom Fireworks, located on Haggerty Road in West Bloomfield Township, a great local option to go to if you're looking for those last-minute fireworks and, of course, some friendly expert advice from right here in our community. I'm curious, Rachel, because fireworks are big at a few times a year. We think about Memorial Day, we think about Labor Day, we think about the 4th of July, but in between all that, you're still running this business in our community. So, what happens in between these big holidays when you're running a fireworks store like Phantom?
So there are actually some other holidays that we do get very busy for. There is Diwali, which is the Hindu festival of lights that we get busy for. It normally falls October, November. Chinese New Year's has started to pick up for us as well. So we tend to have steady business. We also have customers who will come in with our coupons because we do send those out weekly normally, and they will stock up their fireworks show over the year instead of having to come in and do one big spend all at once.
Well, that is good news to hear that you have business all throughout the year. And an interesting fact, we learned something new today as we get ready for the 4th of July, one of the biggest, if not the biggest, fireworks days of the year. Rachel, before we let you go, anything else that customers should know as they get ready to come out to Phantom Fireworks this week and make their final preparations for the 4th of July?
Just make sure that you know what you're comfortable with. Don't let anybody talk you into anything that you personally are not comfortable with. Make sure that you're not coming unprepared with what you have for an idea. Like, we can try to help you the best that you want, but you like what you like, and I'm not going to know that. But so as long as you come happy and excited, we are happy and excited to help you, and we will get you all taken care of.
Well, Rachel, we appreciate your time. We'll let you get back to your busy day ahead as we're just getting closer and closer to the 4th of July. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and have a lovely day.
You as well. Phantom Fireworks in West Bloomfield is on Haggerty Road. They're also online on fireworks.com. Just navigate over to your local store on there and find even more information. Or give them a call, 248-592-9610. Live, local, social, it's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Plenty more to get to as we kick off July here in Greater West Bloomfield. We'll be right back.
We'll be right back with the Splash Live. This is Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. On cable and the radio. On the web too, and on social media. Civic Center TV, television that's close to home.
Finding a reputable business shouldn't require luck or chance. But how can you tell who you can trust? Pro tip, the BBB connects people with businesses they can trust. So think of the BBB as the better, check with the BBB first, because better businesses are honest and commit to high ethical standards bureau. That's why they're better. Always look for the sign of a better business and find a better business anytime at bbb.org.
Bringing you stories and memories from Sylvan Lake, Civic Center TV, and 89.3 Lakes FM.
Good nutrition can help make sure you have enough iron, calcium, and vitamin C in your body, which can make it harder for lead to enter your bloodstream. Help protect your family from the harmful effects of lead.
And now, back to The Splash, live.
Live, local, social, it's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM alongside Kevin McIntosh. I'm Tyler Kieft, and Kevin, school is out for the summer, has been for a couple of weeks, but July is Educator Appreciation Month at the movies.
Yes, for a nice time for right here in July, you can actually go and check out some nice movies at the local Imagine theaters. They are encouraging our local educators to stop by July 1st through July 31st to receive one free movie ticket. The movie ticket is valid for shows beginning before 5 p.m. that day, and there are no online advance tickets available. You have to show up in person and prove that you are an educator. They must be purchased at the box office in line, but overall, Tyler, it seems like a great thing, a great way to give back to the educators locally. They are available at only a few local area Imagine theaters: Canton, Heartland, Macomb, Novi, Palladium, Rochester Hills, Royal Oak, and a few other ones. But great event, great way to give back to our educators. Find out more, imagine-entertainment.com. Imagine spelled with an E, by the way.
Now, pardon me, Kevin, because I'm just a little curious here. You get one free ticket for being an educator. Now, I got a question about if you can get additional tickets if you are the Laker of the Month and an educator, and if you've been teaching for 50 years and reached those anniversaries. We've had a couple of those discussions lately. Michelle Walker and Karen Brody, respectively, from the West Bloomfield School District. I think they should get some extra tickets for those big accomplishments. I'll have to take that up with Paul Glantz and the team at Imagine Theater, but a very, very well-deserved ticket to the movies for free at some of our local theaters for our educators. Kevin, it's also time of the year we start thinking about football season. A lot of these other sports are done for the year. Football, of course, is the big one that comes along in the fall. And throughout the summer, there are certain dead periods where high school teams can't compete and can't be practicing with one another. But that doesn't mean the younger kids can't continue their love of football and even learn from a local legend. I had a chance to go out to West Bloomfield High School and speak to a legend himself, Brandon Davis Swain, as he held one of his first football camps back here in West Bloomfield.
This is my first camp, so giving back, because I went to countless of camps when I was little. So this is just the first one for the little kids, and I want to do more eventually.
It's really a cool experience because not only I get to see my son in action, I get to see other kids that's on my team and other teams that play with my son in action as well. This is where they have fun at, when they just get to play around and not run laps and not do push-ups and just have fun. I just love being around it, being the fly on the wall sometimes, and even coaching.
It was inspired before Brandon was even born. My mother, God rest her soul, Renee Davis, served in the community, and that's where I get it from. She worked at the recreation centers. That's why I really get my inspiration from her, to be able to give back everything free, don't charge the kids, and I'm just teaching my son to do the same thing.
My main thing is just make sure they have fun and then learn some new things today.
I mainly came out to the camp and because it was free and it was a good opportunity, just meet new people. I mean, it's a great experience to know where I could go and things like that.
Having this family atmosphere and having, people around you that care and are putting into you, and showing that you mean something, and that's big just in itself. You know what I mean?
These kids are making friends from all over the state, all over the city, east side, west side, north side, suburbs, west suburbs, south. It just creates a friendship atmosphere with everybody.
I think it's all about inspiring them to be something great, showing them that they can be everything that they can be. And if everybody does this and give back, it'll be more Brandon Davis Swain.
Teaching them life lessons, as well as just showing up and just being a part of a team, and just showing them that it's not only about them, but It's about the person next to him, and they will only be as good as the person that's next to him.
Brandon's a great kid. He's going to do great things at Colorado, and I'm so glad that, like I said, we got a chance to be out here and participate in his first camp with him. Prime got him a great one, man. Straight from the D. Dog.
One of the most fun days out in the gridiron I've seen in a long time for these kids. Much like Brandon said earlier on in my discussion with him there, it was all about having fun, about learning the game, learning some skills, but really it's about building those relationships and having a fun time. Really good stuff to see from Brandon Davis Swain as he got back into town for the first time since graduating as one of the most decorated defensive players in the history of Michigan high school football. Appreciate Brandon giving us his time and coming back here in the WB before he gets stuff started out in Boulder this fall. A big career ahead for him. Live, local, social, it's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Stay with us. We'll take a quick break and get back to plenty of more things happening in Greater West Bloomfield up next.
We'll be right back with the Splash Live. Bringing you stories and memories from Kego Harbor, Civic Center TV, and 89.3 Lakes FM.
One scorching heat wave will leave me powerless to cool my insulin.
When the storm rolls in, my time to find a pet-friendly evacuation center will have run out.
I'm relying on luck, but who knows if it'll be on my side.
When it comes to disasters and emergencies, it's not a matter of if, but when. Take control. 1. Assess your needs. 2. Make a plan. 3. Engage your support network. Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell.
Find local municipal meetings at our program schedule on civiccentertv.com. Find when your meetings air live or when they're replaying on our Civic Center TV live stream. Find it all at civiccentertv.com and click schedule at the top of the screen. And now, back to the Splash Live.
Live, local, social, it's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm Tyler Kieft alongside Kevin McIntosh. And Kevin, it's tough to take on anything for the first time, especially when you are a first-time parent. There's so much to learn, and for that, we got to turn to local resources that can help us and help connect us with other first-time parents.
As a father of a toddler, I know firsthand what an expecting mother goes through, and it's a lot. And they usually say there's no class taught on motherhood, but there is a class taught on birthing. And join us right here on the Splash Live, owner of Birthing to Baby. We have Aaron Schupak joining us right here to talk about this event that'll be happening. And Aaron, if you can just start off by telling us, describe, I guess, the structure and the content of this birthing class that'll be offered in West Bloomfield, July 22nd.
Hi, I am the owner of Birthing to Baby. I've been a labor and delivery nurse for over 18 years. I started my own company, Birthing to Baby. It is a live in-person birthing class. It is tons of couples meeting in person to go over birthing classes, birthing positions, what it's like when you go into labor, when to come to the hospital. Really helps to decrease your anxiety when you go into labor. There's camaraderie among other birthing parents. We bring birthing props. You know what it's like when you get into the labor and delivery room. It's really, really great to be in person with other couples.
So we're talking about a very, very complex, life-changing event for mothers and fathers alike. But, you know, essentially, there's a lot of different resources out there and available. What makes your course different from other courses and birthing classes available in West Bloomfield?
So I've been doing this for over 18 years. There's a lot of series classes where you meet 6 times, you know, you come 6 different times. I really smashed all the information into a 2-hour class. You know, I don't go over the things you don't want to know. When I went to my birthing class 13 years ago, they told me how I got pregnant. I know how I got pregnant, got that down. You know, I really go over the essentials of, you know, what you want to know, what you need to know. You know, I don't go over the things that you don't want to know. I really break it down.
Right.
I am super approachable. If you don't find what you need to know in that 2 hours, call me, text me, email me. I'm super dedicated to you guys. But the point of the class is to decrease your anxiety that day. It's for the mothers and it's for the fathers. We really want to reach out to you guys and make sure that you feel comfortable going into the class and going into that labor room.
Right. And I'm so glad that you said that for the mothers and the fathers. I want to touch on that soon. But joining us right here on the Splash Live, owner of Birthing to Baby, we have Aaron Shupot talking about the birthing class that will be offered July 22nd, which is July 22nd, excuse me. It'll be from 6 to 8 p.m. That's a Monday at the Women's Health and Menopause Center. That's on Maple Road, just west of Orchard Lake specifically. Why is this information, this class, important specifically for the West Bloomfield community?
So, it's really, really important that everyone feels comfortable. I think, it's in West Bloomfield, I just feel like everyone needs to know in their community that, we're a community. Everyone needs to know that there's something in the community for them. I feel like,
right.
We need to know that we need to take care of each other. There's something for everybody. I feel like it's so hard for people to know what's in their community. People are always looking for something. It's here. It's right here. It's right next door to you. Make sure that you know what's here for you.
And, I really think that's important because as you are an expected parent, mother or father, sometimes your head is scrambling and all you think about are the big things. You think about make sure you have a home, the space, but you don't necessarily think about the smaller, more intricate things, the moments and things of that nature, the unexpected things from the baby that you might not, prepare for. And that's why I understand having not only classes like this available, but telling people that this is available being very important. Talk about the role of the fathers in the birthing classes. Can you just talk about how you kind of help them play a role in this whole process?
Yeah, so it's funny that you mentioned that. We go around the room when everyone first gets there and we say, what brought you to this class? What are you having? And sometimes the fathers are a little bit quiet. They're kind of just like, I'm here because, they made me come. But as the class proceeds, you really see them getting into the class. And I always say this class might make you a little bit uncomfortable. It's okay to laugh. It's okay to cry. It's okay to, be a little bit uncomfortable. But you really see them tuning in and writing the notes down for, their partner and everything. And they're a huge integral part of that day and about this experience. It's really important for them to know, in that moment, the woman might get uncomfortable. They might get overwhelmed. And it's their job to say, it's okay. Let me rub your back. Let me remind you of, let's do this different position. Let me feed you ice chips. Let me put this warm washcloth on your head. They're a huge part of the day just as much as the woman. When I deliver and I'm in that room with that woman, I say, support person, husband, partner, do you want something to eat? Are you okay? They're just as much of that day as the woman. This is a huge life-changing, experience for everybody. I'm all about family-centered care.
We are the support system. We are the butlers. We are the maids. We are the whatever, the taxi drivers, whatever you need. Trust me, as a father, I get it. Whatever we need. Last thing before we get you up out of here, Aaron, just give the last final important details regarding the event, registration, any other requirements and important information you want to tell the community.
Yeah, so if you want to register, go on to birthingtobaby.com. You can also register for that class through Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. I post tons of vital information through all of my feeds. I'm super, super, super approachable. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. My class is super down to earth. I'm super down to earth. I really just want to reach the community, reach you guys. I'm just about making your day more memorable. I really, really, really just want you guys to have the best experience you possibly can. I'm not judgmental. You want to have an epidural, have an epidural. You want to breastfeed, breastfeed. You don't want to breastfeed, don't breastfeed. I'm really about you doing you on that big day. Yeah. It's all about you guys having the best experience you guys can have. I went into this because I'm passionate. I want you guys to have the experience and the day that you guys were meant to have. You guys do labor the way that you want to do. My slogan is labor your way. This is about you guys having the most memorable, amazing day that you can have. I'm just here to support you the best that I can. Birthingtobaby.com.
All expecting parents. Yeah, absolutely. All expecting parents in the greater West Bloomfield area, please make sure you make time to join this class, Birthing to Baby, July 22nd, 6 to 8 p.m., Women's Health and Menopause Center. Thank you again to Erin Schupak, owner of Birthing to Baby, for joining us.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, Tyler, see, this is, even though we are men and we will play the father role, it's important for us to know our role when it comes to expecting mothers and things of that nature too. Birthingtobaby.com for more information and to register for that event, by the way.
Hey, knowledge is power, Kevin. The more we can help our expecting mothers in our community, the better, whether it's helping them help themselves or fathers in our communities helping them as well get ready for that experience and for beginning their parenthood journey. Close to home as we get ready for the 4th of July, many are going to be celebrating, as we've mentioned earlier on the show, with fireworks, but there are limits to when those lovely fun fireworks are allowed to be used, as explained to us recently by West Bloomfield Fire Marshal Byron Turnquist.
This year, per township ordinance, which is the same in Eagle Harbor, Sylvan Lake, and Orchard Lake, fireworks can be used June 29th through July 5th, 11 a.m. in the morning to 11:45 p.m. in the evening. That's an effort to try to be respectful to your neighbors.
And of course, it's going to be a great holiday for everybody in our community, but you got to keep that in mind. 11 a.m. until 11:45 p.m. now through Friday, July 5th. Those are the times. Make sure you keep safe, keep a good distance from the home. Do the fireworks only on your property, all of which are township ordinance and therefore ordinance across the Tri-Cities as well. For more information, Facebook at WB Fire Department or visit wbtownship.org to get in contact with the West Bloomfield Fire Department for even more questions. Live, local, social, it's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Plenty more news and information from across our 4 communities coming up. I want to thank our entire team, Peyton Skyver and Calvin Brown at Master Control, Jake Schaff alongside Kevin McIntosh on our team. I'm Tyler Kieft. Thanks for tuning in to the Splash Live.